Today is Sunday, the 15th of December 2024. I welcome each of you to my YouTube channel. My name is Avalon Kisby and I am so excited to have you here with me today. I am trying my hand at something a little bit different, and we're going to be looking at some longer form content within our YouTube channel. I've got two decks of cards here and I'm actually going to split them and do some of my time today on a love reading, and then the other I would like to look at finance and career, because I do understand that not everybody who is following is looking for love readings. So let us get on with that. We would like to have a look. I'm going to move this deck aside and let us have a peek. Spirit, for the viewers today, what do they need to know today in regards to love, please? In regards to love, what would be the message for today? These beautiful cards that I'm using, you can always find them linked in my bio. They are by Dreamy Moons, and you can either buy them from Dreamy Moons or you can buy them from Tarot Stack. So the link to both are in my bio there. But Spirit, for the viewer, what do we need to know, please? What do we need to know about relationship at this time? Love and relationships, please. Okay, bottom of the deck, we have got the Queen of Wands. We have the Two of Wands that came in reverse, the Page of Stars, the Queen of Stars, the Knight of Crystals, and we have the Hermit card. So let me just lay these out and then we're going to take a peek at them here. The first thing, of course, that I am noticing is that we have two queens here. We have two queens and we have the Two of Wands that is in reverse. So there could be some sort of third-party situation that is happening within this particular reading. Let me pop these out here. The Hermit card is very much saying that there have been lessons that have been learned, or that you yourself may be on a spiritual journey. The Hermit card, to me, we can see that there's this hermit that is on top of a mountain here, and the Hermit card to me has always been a card that speaks of someone who at one point in time was the student and started off at the bottom of the mountain and has worked their way up to the top and is now an example and a light to others. So within this journey that you may be experiencing, it very much feels like there may have been wisdoms that you have gained along your journey, and at some point in time, this may be information that you may decide to share with others. The Knight of Crystals is talking about somebody coming in at great speed. In a traditional deck, this would be known as the Knight of Swords. So coming in at great speed, it feels like there's a conversation that they're wanting to have with you. Conversation, clarity, and taking action. We can see that they are riding on this unicorn, and the symbolism of unicorns is certainly that of mystique and that of rarity. So there could be something about this particular relationship that feels very, very unique, and that is something that is rare. The person who is coming through could also be slightly younger than you. Doesn't always have to be, but it certainly can be. The Page of Stars. The Page of Stars is talking about some kind of offer that is coming through for you. This can often be a token gesture, such as a gift of some kind, and of course with this being coming through at this particular season, there could be a very special and unique gift that is going to be coming your way from this person. for me, I often see this as, whenever I see this card, I get a visual in my mind, and I get a visual of something like a ring or a necklace, almost like a piece of jewelry, as it were. Again, in a traditional deck, this would be known as the Page of Pentacles. And pages are the messengers of tarot, so some sort of message that's coming through, and the pentacle itself represents loyalty and commitment and steadworthiness. So some sort of commitment or some sort of gift that might be coming through that might mark this person's feelings and their commitment and their loyalty to you. The Two of Wands is a card that I very seldom see coming in the reverse. Let me turn it around for you for a moment, and what we will talk about is what it would mean in the upright position. In the upright position, it is talking about looking into the future and having a very clear vision of what it is that is desired. What is the desired outcome? To me, it's a card that speaks of being able to visualize something really clearly. It is also a card to me from a personal perspective of you being able to create your version of heaven on earth. And I feel that that is where most of us are. The collective that are drawn to me, we may realize that we have no more karmic bonds, no more karmic ties, and that we are in a place where we have the freedom to create our version of heaven on earth. In fact, that is our new mission. Our new mission is to be an example to others in how we are creating. With it coming in the reverse, that usually brings the opposite meaning. And it feels to me that if this is some sort of third-party situation, which I feel that it is as I'm doing this reading, that there can be the foresight of knowing what it is that you are desiring and having that very clear vision, but the 3D reality at this moment in time is maybe showing you the opposite. And perhaps your person also has this vision, but they maybe don't see it quite as clearly, and they do not know how to get from A to B, from where they are now to where they feel they ought to be or where they desire to be. Then we have these two queens, one of them being you and one of them being the other person, and it doesn't matter of the gender, okay? It's more about the energy of the cards rather than the gender. So the Queen of Wands, I would suggest that potentially this is you. This is fire energy, and you could be a fire sign, but again, that's not necessarily so. The reason that I'm suggesting that this person is you is because of this fire energy. This could be some sort of twin flame dynamic that we are seeing at play here. And for anyone who has experienced a twin flame dynamic, then they will recognize that there often is some sort of obstacle between you, whether it be a third-party situation, whether it be physical distance between you, large age gaps, different culture, different religions. So that's something that we see quite frequently within a twin flame dynamic. The Queen of Wands is also a card that often represents, again, a third-party situation. Out of all of the queens, this particular queen is the one that is either likely to have more suitors or to be in some sort of third-party dynamic. I also feel with the Queen of Wands that she is one of the most intuitive of the queens. I know the Queen of Cups is usually dubbed the more spiritual of them, but for me, I have always seen this particular wand as direct communication to God, the universe, higher self, whichever terminology you prefer to use, and being very guided. For me personally, I would probably say higher self, being at one with higher self, and being able to have that really, really clear vision for the future in the direction of which you are meant to go. It could also be suggesting that you have great skills in telepathy and empathy. These are real phenomena that we are seeing within twin flame dynamics at this time, and many will be able to speak to the truth of that you can be at a distance from someone and you can still pick up on when they're thinking of you, what they're feeling about you, and even their very thoughts about you. This is a card that is suggesting that you move forward in confidence. The Queen of Wands is someone who does definitely put themselves on a pedestal. They understand their value, they understand their worth, they are on a spiritual journey, and they are able to see things, like I say, from a very different perspective to others. I mean, for many of you, if you were to even try and explain your situation to others, then they just wouldn't understand, because that is not their designated path, and that's perfectly fine. But this may be a path that is very specific to you. Now we have the Queen of Stars, and I feel that that is the person that is the partner, whether that's your physical partner or whether that is the third, the person that you're with, whether that is their person, okay? And very grounded, maybe even feels quite secure within their relationship. Has a lot of really awesome qualities too. Pausing for a moment to think on this. It could be that in many other lifetimes you have worked together. It would not surprise me at all. What do we have to think about that? What do we think about that, Spirit? I feel like there is that maybe in other lifetimes you have worked together in many different scenarios, many different dimensions and realms. That in fact, the three of you in some way may be assisting each other on this particular path. What would you like to say about that, please, Spirit? What message in regards to this? We have the Death card, we have the Six of Stars, the Knight of Stars, Temperance, and Queen of Cups. Okay, bottom of the deck we have the Seven of Wands. Another Queen has come out here too. Yeah, it feels, when I see the Queen of Cups, it certainly does give me the indication that there is a connection between you and the other Queen. That you are both highly evolved beings. And that there is some sort of mission that you are here to accomplish, each in your different roles. The Six of Stars. It does talk about this give and take. This balance. Again, we have the Temperance card. It speaks of balance. Two cards speaking of balance, patience, healing. The Death card would symbolize to me that, again, that there is some sort of evolution that is happening within this trio. Very seldom does the Death card actually talk about death itself. It is usually to do with a transformation, a mighty change and transformation. And the three of you may be working together in some sort of way. Now, I understand that on a 3D level, the chances are that that might not be working out so well or not be appearing like it's working out so well between you, but in higher dimensions and working out the dynamics there is a lot of evolution that seems to be coming through. And this is actually helping you to evolve to the highest version of yourself at this moment in time. There are many paths and many experiences that you may not have had it not been for this particular dynamic. I wonder how many would have not really looked into awakenings or the symbolism of numbers or tarot, astrology, etc., etc., if it hadn't been for this twin flame awakening, perhaps. I've often said to people that I read for privately that we get very, very caught up in the romantic side of a twin flame dynamic. But one of its main purposes is actually for self-evolution. And the very first card that came out within this love reading was the Hermit card. It is the wisdom that you are going to experience on this particular journey. Again, something that I've often said, it is not all about the destination, but sometimes it is about the journey. And once again, not everybody is going to experience what you are experiencing in this lifetime. And we get to be here on earth for such a short period of time to try and take in all of these experiences and see the value in them. These experiences you're going to hold on to for all of eternity. The Knight of Stars. This is such a beautiful card. Whenever I see this, I do think of like the Christmas star here. So the Christmas star, there might be something very significant about this Christmas season. That's something that I've seen over and over again within our readings. Now we'd seen the Page of Stars, and now we see the Knight of Stars. So there's some sort of evolution, again, evolution being a word that comes up again, some sort of evolution that is happening. And there is this slow, steady progress and movement forward. It is again talking of loyalty and commitment. And the Knight of Stars is a card, it's one of the slowest moving cards of the entire deck. And so there is a lot of patience that is required as this is moving forward. We have a couple of cards that are speaking of kind of the slowness of this journey. And I know sometimes we get impatient as we can visualize these things for ourselves and we can see the potential. And we want them to hurry up and be here now. There is movement. There are things that are happening, that is for sure, behind the scenes. And I suppose that the real message that I'm getting today is to continue to work on your own evolution. One of the quickest ways to bring a twin flame dynamic together is for you to get really busy in your own life and to be loving your own life so very much that you take that, that consistent thinking and having your mind on them all of the time, it draws that back. So energy is tangible, energy is real. And with you constantly thinking of that person can feel it, and it does create this runner-chaser dynamic. Even if you think you're not chasing that person physically, you are energetically. And once you get naturally so busy in your own life, you cannot help it. Once you're enjoying it, you cannot help but not think of that person quite as much, and then watch and see how quickly that person comes back into you. And I'm not saying that to use that as a tool of manipulation, it's just simply how energy works. So there's a massive evolution that is happening for you at this time. I would suggest that you embrace it. There are things that are happening behind the scenes that things are evening out for you with the Six of Stars. one of the things that I'm noticing, I've definitely noticed it over the years, is the way the energy itself is shifting. And it is talking about being at a vibrational match to your person. And if you're a person who is constantly giving and putting more effort into a relationship, then that relationship will not come to be in fulfillment until it is evened out. I see it time and time again. So again, have a look at maybe where you are giving, and allow the universe and allow your person to meet you in that halfway point, and just watch and see how things will shift and change. But the biggest message would be to concentrate on yourself at this time, and the shifts that could make might be quite enormous for you. So I hope in some ways that was helpful. If, of course, you would like a private reading with me, then there is a link in my bio, and I would be more than honored to do that for you. I'm going to have a look at finances and career at this time, and welcome all my followers who are here not necessarily for the love aspect, but for maybe you just enjoy the energy of this channel, and I appreciate that. So Spirit, may we have a look at other topics in life other than love and romance at this time. May we have a look what might be coming through financially, for career as well. I love that card coming out first. You know, so many of us have this feeling that there is something about to shift and to change for us, and it feels like wealth, abundance, if I'm being honest, is what it feels like. Many of us feel like there's some sort of lottery that's coming through, or that there's some sort of, whether we're the ones that are the lottery, or whether it is logistically speaking of the lottery. Career, money, shifting and changing in such a way. Again, like I say, this energy, I felt it over the years, but there's an immense build-up that I feel currently right now. So can we have a look at what is coming through, please? Bottom of the deck, Seven of Wands. How interesting, you know, because I used this deck over here when we were talking about the love reading, and I never did get to speak about it, but the Seven of Wands was on the bottom of the deck for that too. So I am going to speak on this in just a moment. The very first card coming up was the Ten of Stars. We have the Knight of Cups, the Page of Cups, the Ace of Crystals, the King of Crystals, and the Chariot. Whoa, I really, really love the cards that have come up for us. One of the things that I've always really loved about tarot is how honest tarot is, and it always confirms to me what my reading is about. So before the Ten of Stars came out, I'd put out that this was going to be a reading about finances, about career, about abundance. And then this beautiful Ten of Stars comes out, which in a traditional deck is absolutely talking about the Ten of Pentacles. And in a financial or career reading, there really isn't a higher card other than perhaps the Wheel of Fortune. If that had come on top of this, that would have been like super duper amazing. But we do actually have the Page of Cups that I'm excited to get to in a minute. But the Ten of Stars is talking about creating a legacy. This is not a mediocre amount of abundance that's coming to you. And let me point out that abundance comes in many forms. Abundance comes financially. It comes through our health. It comes through relationships. It comes through the type of work that we do that feels like play rather than work. And it is speaking of all of this. All of this. We see the outline here of the bricks, and that would be potentially talking about a home or a building. So an upgrade on a home, or potentially for those that are entrepreneurs, there could be some significant career moves where you may decide to have a brick and mortar shop, which is really interesting because there's so much that is done online right now. But in this particular reading, it feels like a brick and mortar shop that might be being built and being highly, highly successful. In fact, for some of you, it may even end up being some sort of family endeavor. Okay? So this is enough money to set you up for life, is what I'm hearing. And because we're speaking to a large collective, then this could come in many different ways. And I'm seeing a couple of different ways that this might show up for you over the next little while. So yes, there is absolutely this essence of luck to it with the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups to me has always been the wild card of tarot. It tells you to expect the unexpected. It's also a card of dreams and of wishful thinking. And, so for some of you, do I think that there is a potential to win the lottery? Absolutely. I do. With the combination of these two cards, I really do. Others of you are going to be the lottery. Here, with this Ace of Crystals. The Ace of Crystals to me feels like a download of information that is going to be passed to you. Something that comes to you crystal clear. Crystal clear. And these ideas have endless potential. Aces, they speak of potential. So what I would suggest to you as a practical tool over the next little while is I'm huge into journaling. And for those of you that haven't seen my new journals, then I invite you to maybe look at my website. They are beautiful. They're beautiful. However, I digress. It doesn't have to be one of my journals. It can absolutely be a scrap of paper. And when you start getting new ideas coming to you, it doesn't matter what the ideas are, start writing them down. For instance, I don't know if any of you are experiencing the same things. I often notice, because when I speak to you, I am part of your collective. So when I experience things, I often find that others are also experiencing the same thing. So for the last little while, I have been thinking and really curious about stocks and shares and investments and crypto, things that I know nothing of, things that I really don't. I'm very uneducated on these things, but I can tell you I have massive curiosity about them. And so I wonder if maybe some of you are also feeling those same things, that you're being guided to think about investments. This doesn't have to just be investments. This could also be other streams of income that you may be enticed to look at. You may have some really genius ideas of how you can use your knowledge and share your gifts and talents with others. It does say that it's going to be highly successful. You see that there's this crown here. This is speaking about victory, success in some of your ideas that are coming through. Now, you may not decide to act on all of your ideas, but I would take note of them, and I would maybe number them as to, okay, what is the potential of me looking into this a little bit more? What about this one? Which ones out of all of these choices that are being presented to me, which ones do I feel really drawn to? Because your passions are also going to be the breadcrumbs to your success. You will have heard me say that. It's the truth. Okay, but many of us are being called to look at other methods of receiving money. Okay? So yes, For some, there could absolutely be some sort of windfall that comes through. There's no doubt about it. And this may be something, if you have dreamt of, or if you've got this deep intuitive feeling that there's some lump sum that's coming to you, maybe through the lottery, then I would say that that is a huge possibility for you, and keep that mindset and make that mindset so normalized for yourself that it's only a matter of when. For others, you are going to be the lottery. You are going to have these genius ideas. With the Chariot card, the Chariot card is talking about moving forward on these ideas. So what's interesting about this particular deck is the Emperor who drives the Chariot. And the Emperor, by the way, is usually somebody who they're high level in career. They usually have a lot of responsibilities. I often see it as, again, an entrepreneur type card. If you're not an entrepreneur, then this can be talking about really being elevated in a certain role. A very fiery, very good leader, and is able to explain and to teach others in a really, exemplary way. But the Emperor in traditional tarot does not have reins to the beasts that pull their chariot, whether they're horses, whether they're unicorns, whether they're sphinxes. They do not. And that is usually because it's meant to be symbolic of that it is through your sheer mindset alone that you can achieve greatness, victory, success, all of these things. So the fact that I am seeing these reins, the words that are coming to me are, take matters into your own hands. Do something, take action. Yes, the universe is doing some wonderful things behind the scenes for you, and it might be giving you these good ideas and these potentials. But you know what? Action is needed to make this happen. That you are destined. If what I say to people when I read cards for them personally, the way that tarot works is it picks up on your energy, your predominant energy. And what energies it picks up from you are your emotions, your mindset, your self-concept, your perception, and your soul journey. And that in and of itself is almost like a photograph or a still of where you're currently at. And it's going to show you the direction in which you're heading in this particular time. It is showing me that if you feel aligned to this, if you feel like this is your reading, that it is literally on the cards that you are shifting and moving towards this Ten of Pentacles, creating a legacy. It is not, as I said before, a mediocre amount of money at all. But yeah, there's action that is going to be required. So to put it in really simple ways, if you feel like you're to win the lottery and then you don't buy tickets, well, how's that going to happen? Or if you have this genius idea and then you don't do anything with it, well then, you know what? There's onus on you here to take action and to create something. Like I say, the universe is meeting you more than halfway. But there might be action that you need to take in regards to this. We also have the King of Crystals. And I really, really, really do love that. We'd spoken about the Ace of Crystals, speaking of clarity and taking action. Well, we have the King of Crystals here. Now, for some of you, this could be a partner that is going to be coming through and assisting you with some of your ideas. If it's only talking about you, then again, it is talking about taking your ideas and really looking into them and doing something with them. The King of Crystals would, in a traditional deck, would be the King of Swords. And this is someone who is really balanced and very, very clever, has huge mental fortitude, extremely intelligent, and is able to then take this idea and to formulate it into something that could work. Okay, so like I say, this could be you making a business plan and formulating your idea, or this could be somebody else that is coming in to help you. For those that do feel called to invest, like I say, that's something that's cropped up for me recently, then perhaps this is somebody who's going to assist you. Like I say, I have no knowledge on how to, how to even get into investments. So maybe it's being called to work with someone who has the knowledge and the mental capacity to put you on the right path that you're meant to be on. Again, I feel like it's an action card. And we see the sun in the background, which is suggesting huge blessings, huge wealth, huge happiness coming through. It's just around the corner, quite literally, if you see it. Tarot cards aren't quite so hard to read. If we just look at the illustrations, the story is right there. There's something just around the corner that's meant to be happening. The Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups, again, such a beautiful card. And how I said earlier that abundance can come in many forms. And one of the ones that I'm thinking of when I see the Page of Cups and the Knight of Cups could be that of health. So for many of us who are very in tune with energies and continually working on ourselves, we know that we also have to look after our own health and put ourselves on the pedestal and look after that. So a lot of self-love, a lot of self-care over the next little while, potentially. It does show that things will get better. These are very, very healing cards that are coming up, but it could be talking about good nutrition and taking all of that in as well. The Knights within tarot are talking about action. So once again, going back to any business plans or any creations with finances, this is very much talking about taking action. And there's a balance here. There's a balance here when we see the King of Crystals and the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups is someone who very much thinks with their heart. And so the decisions that you're going to make in career and with finances, they're going to be heart-based. Initially is where they're going to start from. They're going to start as an idea, and then you're going to nurture them, look at them, see if they feel in alignment with you, and then is the logical side is going to come into play. I think I've said it before that as we are evolving, our heart and our brain are becoming one unit, and so making decisions purely logically isn't always the answer these days. Of course, there's an element of logic that goes with them and being sensible, okay? But there's you got to follow what's in your heart is what I'm getting here. So I really hope that helps. There does look like there are miracles, that there are incredible ideas that are coming through for this particular collective. It is talking about moving forward and taking action on some of the ideas that you have. This could also be saying that this is coming in really fast. What I will say, though, is what the universe calls fast and what we call fast are two entirely different things. However, in saying that, I have genuinely, on a personal level, feel that there is something incredibly significant happening between now and I would like to say the end of the year. That's what it feels like to me. It feels like going into 2025, we are being very guided to kind of wrap up any goals and intentions that we had for 2024. And if they're still in alignment with us to achieve them, we're kind of being pushed to get those done before the end of the year. I don't know, is anyone else feeling that kind of urgency? Normally at this time of the year, I would have said, okay, if I haven't done them now, that's okay. 2025 is just around the corner, and I will set this as my first goal for 2025. And that's not the case this year. This year I'm very much feeling like it's important to wrap up everything that I was meant to do in order to be ahead of the game in 2025. So whether you're being inspired to open up certain bank accounts, or just whatever it is that you're being guided to do, take action on it, is what I would say. Get yourself ready for this windfall or these ideas to take off. Prepare your life as if it's coming, because from what the cards are saying and what the energy feels like, these things are indeed coming. So thank you for being with me here today. I invite you, if you are not subscribing, to subscribe. And if you'd like to leave a comment and let me know your thoughts on what's going on for you, I always read the comments. I'm not always so good about responding, or try harder, but I always read the comments in every platform. And if it's anyone that answers, it's always me that answers, okay? So I love to hear what you have to say and to be in tune with this particular collective. I look forward, I will be doing another longer form reading tomorrow, and I look forward to having you there. Take care for now. So much love.